Greetings from MWN.com. Dr. M. Wilson, author, publisher, professor of commerce and management, and formerly vice principal, is delighted in presenting this session. Thank you. Please subscribe the channel MWN.com. Elasticity of demand and supply. Elasticity is an economic concept used to measure the change in the aggregate quantity demanded of a good or service in relation to price movements of that good or service. A product is considered to be elastic if the quantity demand of the product changes more than proportionally when its price increases or decreases. Elastic demand or supply curves indicate that quantity demanded or supplied respond to price changes in a greater than proportional manner. An inelastic demand or supply curve is one where a given percentage change in price will cause a smaller percentage change in quantity demanded or supplied. The diagram clearly shows the demand curve and supply curve. It shows that when price increases, quantity demand decreases. It is called elasticity of demand. When price increases, quantity supplied increases. Supply curve is positive whereas demand curve is negative. Elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand refers to the shift in demand for an item or service when a change occurs in one of the variables that buyers consider as part of their purchase decisions. It's a relationship between demand and another variable, such as price, availability of substitutes, advertising pressure, and customer income. Types of elasticity of demand. Normally, demand of goods changes mainly due to price, but it may change due to some other factors. Hence, there are four main types of elasticity of demand. They are I. Price elasticity of demand, E. Cross elasticity of demand, E. Income elasticity of demand, and IV. Advertising elasticity of demand. They are based on price changes of the product, price changes of a related good, income changes, and changes in promotional expenses, respectively. The diagram shows the different nature of elasticity of demand. It shows the relationship between price and quantity demanded. In perfectly inelastic demand, whatever may be the price of a product, the quantity demanded will remain same. This is possible for the most essential goods. In inelastic demand, there is slight changes in demand for the high change in price. In perfectly elastic demand, price will not change but quantity demanded will change. In unitary elastic, quantity demanded will proportionally change as per the change in price. In elastic demand, change in quantity depends on change in price, but it needs not be in proportional. Price elasticity is the change in quantity demanded due to the change in price of a product. 2. The cross elasticity of demand refers to how demand for one good changes when the price of another typically related good does. Cross elasticity is one of the main types of demand elasticity. Cross price elasticity equals % change in quantity demanded of product of % change in price of product B. Typically consumed together, showing negative cross elasticity, e.g., hamburger patties and buns. Competitive products, exhibiting positive cross elasticity, example, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. 3. Income elasticity is the change in quantity demanded due to the change in income of people. There are 5 main categories of income elasticity of demand based in the percentage increase or decrease in quantity compared to the increase or decrease in incomes. Starting from the largest positive change, they are called high, unitary, low, zero, and negative. 4. Advertising elasticity is the change in quantity demanded due to the change in nature, frequency, and quality expenditure of advertisement. When income increases, quantity demanded will normally increase. But it will not always be like that. The nature of elasticity may be low, high, or no change in demand, or increases proportionally, that's unilateral. Or when income increases, quantity demanded of the particular product may decrease. This may be because people may shift the product from the usual to new one since their status increases due to the increase in income. Elasticity of supply. The elasticity of supply is defined as the percentage change in the quantity supplied divided by the percentage change in the price. Calculation of elasticity of supply. The price elasticity of supply is calculated as the percentage change in quantity divided by the percentage change in price. The elasticity of supply is the relationship between the change in price and the change in supply. There are 5 main types of supply elasticity: relatively elastic supply, relatively inelastic supply, perfectly elastic supply, perfectly inelastic supply, and unitary elastic supply. Perfectly inelastic supply. A service or commodity has a perfectly inelastic supply if a given quantity of it can be supplied, whatever might be the price. It means the change in price will not increase or decrease in supply. The elasticity of supply for such a service or commodity is 0. A perfectly inelastic supply curve is a straight line parallel to the y-axis. This is representative of the fact that the supply remains the same irrespective of the price. 2. Relatively less elastic supply. If the change price slightly change the supply of quantity, then it is called then the commodity has a relatively less elastic supply. In such a case, the price elasticity of supply assumes a value less than 1. Relatively greater elastic supply. When the change in supply is relatively more when compared to the change in price, then the commodity has a relatively greater elastic supply. In such a case, the price elasticity of supply assumes a value greater than 1. 4. Unitary elastic. If the change in quantity supplied of a commodity is exactly equal to the change in its price, then it is called unit elasticity of supply. The change in both price and supply of the commodity are proportionately equal to each other. 5. Perfectly elastic supply. A commodity with a perfectly elastic supply has an infinite elasticity. The supply becomes zero with even a slight fall in the price and becomes infinite with a slight rise in price. This means that the suppliers of such a commodity are willing to supply any quantity of the commodity at a higher price. A perfectly elastic supply curve is a straight line parallel to the x-axis.